Hello, welcome to another video in my Asian Mythology Learn to Trigger Intermediate series. This one's a rather short video with a utility because it's such an important utility to use. This is the command viewer that's been created by nottud, and the link to download this is available in the description. Why is this so useful? You can put anything in and it's going to tell you a relevant Age of Mythology command to get what you want. So I put quest var in here, and what it said is we have our tr quest var get code. It takes the input of a string in the bracket, so that's the name of our quest var, and it returns a float. So this links in with the data types, explains everything that I've been doing there. If I'm doing other things like damage, and I click this one, you can see tr damage unit returns a float of the amount of unit to damage, and nottud gives a description there of what this does. You'll see this is a void type, which means it doesn't actually return anything. So the same is going to be true if we do tr chat send. It's not returning anything, but it's sending a message. It takes two characters in the brackets. The first is an integer from the player. The second is a string, and it's the message that we send. And that corresponds to the code that we've been using. This is going to be useful if you want to get certain functions or find out what types of data go into those functions. So in my previous videos I've been using select clear. This is a void because it doesn't output anything, to clear the units in the current trigger selection system. And then if I'm doing unit select, this is a void, so it doesn't actually return anything, but it adds the unit to the trigger selection system so that any functions applying to that unit are then affecting this unit. You'll see it contains the scenario name as the unit to be selected, and it takes this in string form. So that's why we needed to have the double quotes and the plus to make sure that Asian Mythology knows we're putting a string in rather than an integer. It's going to be useful in our next scenario when we're going to cover terrain and unit position. So if I wanted to know the position of a unit, I could use kb block position, and it's going to return a vector of that unit position based on the string name of that unit. If I'm trying to paint the terrain, this one's a bit more of a complicated one. So I'll be discussing this in more detail in the next video. I just thought I'd do a very brief summary on this, the command viewer tool, and it does deserve its separate video because it's so important, and we're going to be using this later if we get in trouble or we're stuck for things. We'll see you again in the next video.